Ladies and gentlemen, Kocosports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. Well, Battleground is in the history book, so that means it's time for another paper review. So we're going to lay it out here, the Coco crew. We're going to run it down or run it over, whatever comes first. But first, we got to introduce the host here. First, you got yours truly, the sexiest man on all wrestling radio. That's right, Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from beautiful Omaha, Nebraska. And of course, I'm flanked to my left, or at least stage left, the #1 Gator fan himself via Tokyo, Japan. Talking about Dave Kokotis. And of course, the man too sexy. He's actually naked in a beanbag eating Cheetos right now, which is why you'll only see his picture, ladies. Talking about their Big Rob from sunny South Florida. Actually, I think, Rob, are you driving back from Battleground right now? You know, just lie and say, yeah, you were totally there.
Yeah, I'm on the road right now. I'm driving back. I actually murdered Cena before I got in the car. Cops are after me, but, you know, I might get back. The champ is not here.
Well, thanks, guys, for joining us now. I guess the question is who is the pay-per-view prophet? After tallying up the scores, I would like to say congratulations to...
Two-time champion, two-time back-to-back. You know, it's hard being...
That shit never gets old, but you know what? You're back to your losing ways because while you didn't finish dead last, you finished next to last in pay-per-view profits. The winner is, drum roll please, none other than... Franielli. Congratulations, Franielli. He beat out me. He beat me out by 1 point, and that was a tiebreaker. So this is why I tell people, get your tiebreakers in, because they're very, very important. I got 1 out of 4. Franielli got 2 out of 4, and he edged me by 1 point. He got 5 correct in the pay-per-view. Plus 2 tiebreakers with a total score of 7. Now, some of you are scratching your head going, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Let me explain myself. First of all, the pre-show match between Adam Rose and Fandango did not count. I threw it out. It was a very, very last-minute thing. Some people were trying to get that pick in, and I realized, you know what, it just wouldn't be fair to the rest of the Internet infantry. So, you know what, it was a freebie. It did not count for you or against you, so it was a freebie. And I also... because I'm feeling fucking benevolent, because otherwise I would have won pay-per-view profits, but I threw out the Dean Ambrose-Seth Rollins match because of the forfeit in the storyline. I said, you know what, even though technically Seth Rollins won that, and that was my pick, it wouldn't have been fair. So me wanting to be fair, I completely threw that match out. So that match did not count for you or against you, so that was a freebie. So when all that comes down to it, congratulations, Franielli. You got me by 1. You got me by a tiebreaker, which is why they're important. But, guys, the pay-per-view just wrapped up literally just moments ago. Guys, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, that totally happened. It was a filler pay-per-view. It was treated like a filler pay-per-view, and it came off like a filler pay-per-view. And the only reason I'm not jumping up and down screaming is I know people only spent $10 this month for this pay-per-view if they got the WWE Network, but they get so much other stuff, so it doesn't feel like a complete total rip-off. I do feel bad for our friends overseas, particularly at the UK, where they were paying full price for this stuff. So I feel bad for it. But guys, am I wrong? Am I off base, or is my criticism spot on?
Well, let's ask a very important question of win-loss tie. Everyone down in the comments, please put win-loss tie. We will be trying to read them later on. Rob, you go first, because you're the most positive of the group. Did you think it was a win, loss, or tie?
I'm going to give it a tie. I don't want to give it a win because the Ambrose Rollins thing alone is the single reason it's not getting a weak win from me. But I didn't hate any of the matches. Like, I was decently entertained by the matches. And to me, that's a win. And the start of the night was really strong. And I went into it expecting it to be a filler, so.
Okay. So you had lowered expectations, so when you set the bar low, it's easier for them to clear the hurdle there. So, Dave, what are you thinking? You thinking win, loss, or tie, sir?
I think this is the most average, predictable pay-per-view ever. I just think it was just purely average. They had enough good stuff for it not to be a loss. They had enough bad stuff for you to be like, no, if you paid $9.99, it was maybe the slightest of what if you paid no. If you paid $9.99, it was a time. If you paid full price for a pay-per-view, this was the biggest fucking loss money. It really depends on how much you paid. I'm giving it like a really weak high, and it's just like, wow, everything happened. Like, not to make fun of people on Facebook and Twitter and all that, but if you're bragging that you predicted Cena was going to win, pump your fucking brakes a little bit on the bragging on that one, okay? But I just think it was completely average.
I feel like it's unfair to say it was predictable unless you won pay-per-view profits.
Yeah, Franielli.
Points. Franielli, it was predictable for him. But I mean, as far as you know, big money matches, it was pretty predictable. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, we all saw the ending in the chat, like going into the ends of the matches. We were all like, "This is what's gonna happen." Oh yeah, that happened.
I asked people on Facebook. I asked people in the Google Plus Internet Infantry chat. Thank you, Forsaken, for setting that up as always. I asked a couple people on Twitter. So I asked them, I just did a little survey, and it was right before the bell rang. I said, "What is the percentage you think John Cena's winning?" Now you got to remember, good storytelling, great booking would be 25% each. In WWE's credit, not one person said 100%. The highest was 99.999999%. So good job, WWE. You left a little bit of percentage in the most thought. And the average was 90%. Everyone was like, "Oh, 90%, he walks out with the title. 90% he walks out with the title."
God, I must be dragging down the average.
The worst average, like the worst, I guess, in favor of John Cena losing, or the best, I don't know, the lowest average of John Cena losing that I saw was 65%. That was the lowest by one guy. And after that 65%, everything jumped over 75%.
See, for me, it was about 50. I legitimately believed all the way up until the bell rang. I believed, and then I didn't even want to join the prep call for the show because I'm like, "No, Dave, no, I gotta see it until it ends because something might change, something might happen. Maybe they'll unring the bell and Reigns will get back in the ring. I don't know, man. Give me a minute."
There's a part of me that feels so bad. I love you, but I feel so bad for you. I just want to hug you. It's gonna be okay, you stupid rabbit.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
What was your percentage and what was your win-loss tie?
Me, the percentage-wise that I thought Cena was going to win, I gave it about a 90% chance that Cena was going to win. I'm going to give it a tie. It just was it was filler. I mean, it was just, hey, everybody here, we're gonna meet our contractual obligation to have a pay-per-view. We're going to put it in Tampa, Florida, but everybody hold tight. The really cool shit's coming up next month in Los Angeles. So everybody just, we're going to give you a little appetizer here, but don't worry. The steak is coming at SummerSlam in Los Angeles. Here you go. That's what it came off with. And looking here on YouTube here, the Internet Infantry, Javier Almos gives it a loss. Let's see here. Greg Bogan gives it a loss. Who else? Mr. The King gives it a win. Trey Beeman gives it a tie. So I mean that's kind of all over the board here with the Internet Infantry. So I really think that WWE could have done a better job, but they were just decided to this being a filler pay-per-view, so that's the way they treated it. And to see how I kind of came to this conclusion here, guys, you ready to run down this pay-per-view real quick?
Sure. Let's break it down.
Okay, now I want to start out with the pre-show here, and now the first match was the match that was just named today. It was Adam Rose versus Fandango. This match went about 90 seconds, and no, I'm not exaggerating. That was about a minute and a half. I think a minute 36 if you want to get extremely technical here. Rose won with the party foul. Fandango got slapped by both Layla and Summer Rae, who apparently according to the dirt sheets, they put those two together because they were trying to recreate Lay Cool with Layla and Michelle McCool. So they picked the closest one that looked like Michelle McCool, which was Summer Rae, and they did it specifically because TNA put back together the Beautiful People. So, all right, TNA fans, there's your cannon fodder. You know that should keep you occupied for another month there. About when you talk about how TNA is better than WWE and they copy off of them, yada yada yada. Who cares?
Until Spike cancels it.
I was getting upset kind of with this match, but when I realized, oh wait a minute, this is pre-show. Okay, I'll give you a pass on it. It wasn't a great match. It's somewhat further to storyline, but it's really, really bad when you have a wrestling match where the wrestling match is just secondary. It's just kind of a passive thought.
I just wanted to say one thing about the TNA WWE copying. I think they both copy off each other way too much, and if you don't fucking see that, you're just a loyalist to whatever company you're fucking super born of. And also one thing I wanted to add about the two women on MSG New York Northeast tour, in the house shows they were kissing each other. I don't know what that has to do with the pay-per-view, but they're very nice pictures.
I want to go to a house show now. They sound really entertaining. Great booking.
Well, usually house shows ain't bad because, you know, they mostly stick with just wrestlers and you get to see a lot of the mid-card guys. If you like more wrestling than storylines and like the mid-cards better than the main event, you'll enjoy the house shows. But if you're there to see, like, I want to see John Cena cut a 27-minute promo, you're going to be disappointed.
I don't think anyone's ever said that except maybe Player Dies.
Where is Blair Dice, man? I miss Blair Dice. All right.
Blair Dice. All right. Next here, the other pre-show match. This was the Battle of the Fuckadactyls. You had Cameron versus Naomi. Cameron coming out in this little schoolgirl outfit, and I'm like, who the fuck wrote this? Me? It works. And then Naomi comes out again in that skin-tight leather outfit. Oh God, yes. This match was short, which is what it needed to be. I'm not going to say it was great, but it was better than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a train wreck in slow motion. It turned out to just be a fender bender, which I consider a victory for these guys. But watching this match, guys, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like just Cameron is just not up to it. Naomi is the star of the group. And like I said the reason why I thought Cameron was going to win is because if they're going to carry this on a little bit, they want it to mean something. Cameron has to get the win, and they have to have more matches. I'm thinking what's going to happen here is they're going to have a series of matches, and eventually they're going to end it. And if by the end of this period, whether it be SummerSlam or the Raw before or after SummerSlam, she's not up to snuff, I would not be surprised to see her be demoted back down to NXT for training, because I see a lot of girls, like Sasha Banks, Charlotte, people like that, who are in NXT that are miles ahead of her, ahead of Cameron, and much better. Mm-hmm. And I could see Cameron going back down for training and then just let Naomi actually go out there, wrestle, and take it to a different level, take it to a better level. And so that's what I'm seeing with this. But Cameron got the win via schoolgirl roll-up with a handful of tights. That was one of the deciding matches, believe it or not, with pay-per-view profits. A lot of people went heavy with Naomi. I think a good 75-80% of the internet infantry went with Naomi. I was glad to pull a win out on that one. But guys, what's your assessment with Cameron, Naomi? Where do you see their careers maybe 6 months from now?
I don't think Cameron will drop down to NXT purely because of her role on Total Divas, and that's what they like using her for. But God, I hope that they start taking the Divas division seriously with how many great wrestlers they actually have in the Divas division right now. They have Charlotte, they have Bayley, they have Sasha, they have Naomi, they have AJ Lee, they have Paige. Like, you have Natalia, you have a really stacked Divas division, like the best WWE has seen in my memory in terms of just skilled wrestlers, and it could be really good. So I hope that they wrap this feud quick and let one of the better divas actually start wrestling good divas.
Yeah, and I think the only reason a lot of these women have jobs is because that reality TV show. I think, I would say maybe half the Total Divas rosters would be cut and be unemployed if it wasn't the success of that show.
Like Eva Marie, who's basically just a fucking mop in the ring.
Exactly. I mean, it's gotta suck because like one thing that WWE does more than anything is show that hard work does not pay off. Like they have cemented that home. Like when they do Be a Star, I hope they're teaching their kids that because hard work, if you're male or female, does not pay off. Period. Period. And it's just sad. That'd be funny if that's what was Be a Star. Like, you just have Zack Ryder come up and like, kids, I used to be bullied in high school, and I said, you know what, I'm going to work hard. And WWE proved one thing. Bullies will stay with you for the rest of your life, and work hard to get you nowhere. Peace, come out!
But he sent all of that from home via Twitter to the class.
Exactly. All right. Oops,
well, next here, the pay-per-view actually started here. And guys, you can kind of weigh in on your thoughts. Just share them down here in the comment section below. But the first match here, guys, was the first one to start off. And I was actually kind of shocked, but it was a great opener in my opinion here. You had the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Usos, defending against the Wyatt family in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm just going to say I kind of wish it hadn't been 2 out of 3 falls because the first 2 falls, in my opinion, were pretty much bullshit. You had a boot to the face and 1, 2, 3. Then you had a roll up 4, 3. Then the match just really kicked into 4th gear, and then it just took off. If they just would have skipped like the first couple of falls or had some of the near falls had some falls with that, I think it would have been better. But it was just like, oh shit, this is the best 2 out of 3 falls. Let's go and get this shit out of the way. Let's go ahead and get these out of the way. Okay, we're tied at a fall piece. Okay, good. Let's let the match start now. Because that's what it felt like. It felt like once you finally got that second fall out of the way, it just went to a different level. Good back and forth, a lot of false finishes. It just sucked the crowd in. We complained that these two teams have had like 800 matches against each other, but I guess one of the things we forget is because we're just fatigued with it is these two, when they get together, these two teams, once they get together, it's fireworks. These guys always put on great matches. I think this one stole the show. I honestly do. But the Usos, everybody kicked out everybody's finishers. I was thinking, it's kind of indie, but the Usos win with a double splash, and I was just like, wow, absolutely amazed by that. Now, guys, I'll start with you, Rob. I know you're mad at me because you had picked the Usos to win this in pay-per-view profits, but I said no. If they're going to change the titles, they're going to do it at this pay-per-view because they don't want to overshadow a title change at SummerSlam. And you're like, you know what, you're right. And then the Usos won, and I could just hear you screaming all the way here from Nebraska. You down there in South Florida, I could hear, God damn it, boom, boom. I can hear it all the way from here. That's what I heard. So, Jay, go ahead.
I was pretty unhappy. I was not happy with either of you. I was like, damn it, they were so convincing. I knew I should have believed in you. I'm sorry, Jimmy. I'm sorry, Jay. I knew you were going to stay the champions, and I let them talk me out of it. I'm a monster. I'm a terrible human being. I should be kicked in the nuts repeatedly for my betrayal. I am so sorry. And then they won. And then I was like, I knew it. You son of a bitch. But, that was definitely match of the night. That was the best match of the night. That match had me on such a high for the rest of the pay-per-view. It was kind of like last pay-per-view when, we're all watching the first ladder match and we're like, this is amazing. This pay-per-view is great. And then Kane came out. Except Kane coming out this time was them throwing Ambrose out of the ring. But hey.
Well, Dave, what did you think about the opening match? Do you think the WWE made a mistake by not switching the tag team titles, or do they go from here? Do they think they have another match, or do they think? I honestly think at this point they need to move on. The Wyatts just need to move on with something else, and the Usos need to take on a new set of challengers.
As a fan, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, they need to move on. This storyline needs to end. Why titles or vice versa? But the problem is that it's the most intriguing thing they have, and it's the best matches they have. So it's kind of like, you know, hey, nothing's really working for us. But these two tag teams get lazy-ass Tampa off its feet, and every arena they go crazy. So, I don't know. I think with the reaction that Tampa gave them, the Usos keeping the straps, I think they're going to do it one more time at SummerSlam. I just don't see them stopping until it doesn't get a reaction or until it gets John Cena type heat. I just think, you know, as a fan, you're like, okay, let's get some more tag teams in. But as a business guy, you got to be like, dude, they fucking put on good matches. The fans fucking love it. Keep sending that shit out there. They're gonna ride that fucking wagon until it fucking busts. So I enjoyed the match. I thought it was the best match. I did get a lot of comments on Facebook that the crowd died after this. I could have told you that. I lived in Tampa for like 10, 20 years. I don't know. I'm fucking bad. I've lived in Tampa for a long time, promoted wrestling there. And when it comes to WWE in the Ice Palace, the fans go crazy in the beginning and then don't give a shit. It's just in Tampa. And maybe that's why Tampa doesn't get good pay-per-views. It dies. Like, Tampa Bay has a bedtime or a drinking time. Because every show I went to Tampa, like, I sat in the ringside seats, really good seats, and you could hear people like, oh, let's just go. It's almost over. And, like, that's an hour into it. But they'll be like, oh, let's go get drinking at Ybor City. So I'm shocked that Tampa got a pay-per-view, but I'm not shocked that the crowd died down after the first time, because it's weird. It's a weird wrestling environment, because they'll support indies and go absolutely crazy and draw like 200, 500 people to the indies, and they're good for indies. Well, if you know, they're good for indies, but they're kind of bad for WWE. But then in Tampa's defense, they always give shitty shows in Tampa. So I don't know what came first. Tampa not giving a fuck after the first hour, or them just not delivering so Tampa doesn't give a fuck. But I guarantee people left earlier at least talked about it and just like, whatever. He's like, I don't know how it is in most cities, but I'm sure New York, Philadelphia, the bigger cities, especially in Tokyo here, no one complains about the show being too long at a live event. Oh, you'll get that shit in Tampa. You'll get that deal like, yo, I got shit to do. These whiskeys are not going to drink themselves. So it's kind of a drinking, fighting paradise. They want their fucking pro wrestling to be short. A 3-hour live show, it's 3 hours, right? Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, well, officially, yeah, 3.5 if you count the pre-show.
Yeah, that's way too long for Tampa. They just don't have the attention span.
That's where you get your ADD from. Okay, I'm beginning to understand a little bit more, Dave. Now, you know, one of the things I guess that took, you know, you said that the crowd kind of went dead or whatever, but I think WWE took the wind out of their own sails when they did an interview with Seth Rollins, and then that was interrupted by Dean Ambrose just pummeling the hell out of him. Security broke him up, and then Triple H showed up and told the security to get Ambrose out of the building. He didn't want to see him back here tonight. And I'm like, wait a minute, these guys have a match. Shouldn't it just be separate them? And then they go back to the announce team, and they're just like, well, what happened? Did they just kick Dean Ambrose out of the building? He's got a match. And they have a little bit of an argument. And I'm like, wait a minute, don't tell me you've got one of your most popular matches of the night, one of the matches that everybody wants to see, and then all of a sudden you're just kind of giving your audience the middle finger and telling them, no, it's not happening tonight. Well, yeah, that's exactly what happened, but it doesn't come into play until a little bit later. They went ahead and then immediately fast-tracked the Divas Championship match. Guys, and all this will come into play just a little bit later here, but you did the Divas Championship match. You had AJ Lee versus Paige. To me, this match felt just disconnected. It felt to me like Paige and AJ were sitting in a meeting, and they said, okay, here's what we want to do. We want to hit these 4 specific spots. We want to hit spot A, spot B, spot C, spot D. And it's like, we have to hit these in our match. We've got we don't even have 10 minutes. We've got to get all our stuff in, and we've got to have this match. And it's like they would hit one of their spots, and then it would just kind of pause. The whole match would just be like, I don't know. What are we doing? How do we transition over here? Okay, no, spot B's coming up. Okay, let's go through this. and it just kind of felt just kind of disjointed. Paige being flustered like she was, and this is where commentary really failed. I felt like commentary on a whole was just awful tonight because, I mean, they gave away matches. Oh, we got new tag team champions. Well, fuck, I know they're going to kick out now. Same thing with this is like, well, why is Paige so frustrated? Why is she so upset? Motherfucker, that's your job. Your job is to fucking sit there and cover. Your job is to be like, well, you know, I bumped into Paige today, and she said she had a you know, a solid plan, and that she knew she could take out AJ and get her Divas titles back. Well, I guess she's frustrated because she's hit everything, she's done everything she said she was going to do, and it's not working. The frustration just has to be building up, and instead it's, I don't know. Why is she upset? Why is she so frustrated? Why is she pausing? And I'm like, guys, come on. Do your fucking job. Don't sit and talk about who's going where or what you fucking tweeted. Who gives a shit? Promote the fucking match. Help get these guys over. And they just didn't fucking do it. But you saw some good back and forth here. But AJ got the win with the Shining Wizard. I thought it was an okay match. It wasn't as good as it needed to be, but like I said, at pay-per-view profits. If I was booking, I would make sure that this match was kind of be like the appetizer. It would kind of make everybody hungry for a better match, and then I would have the best match at SummerSlam. And I think in that aspect it accomplished, but the expense of that was it just felt discombobulated. It just was just kind of disjointed, and it just a lot of awkward pauses in between spots. But Dave, you know, I know you like both of these divas here. They're two of the best, obviously, in the WWE today. You know, what were your thoughts on this match?
I thought this was two great women athletes for WWE standards going at it. It was a bit spotty, like you said, but I think that had more to do with how much time they had. I don't think that had to do with the athletes. Yeah. I'm just defending the athletes a little too much. But to me, I was excited to watch this match, and there's not many diva matches I'm excited to watch. I thought they were two best athletes, and I thought WWE did everything in their power. Everything these athletes couldn't control, WWE fucked up. They fucked up the time, how much time they gave. They fucked up the commentary. They fucked up the story, and they even fucked up the finish. There's a little part of me that, you know, when it comes to the booking and commentary team, I think they're fucking these girls over, or they don't know what they're doing. I honestly don't think there's an option C. Sorry, Austin Aries, sit down. I think it's either option A, the people booking this and running it have no idea what the fuck they're doing, or option B, they're sabotaging it. Because if this was on NXT, none of these mistakes would have happened. Why is NXT booking and minus Parker's, but why is NXT booking better than WWE's? But why is the commentary better at putting people over? I honestly think Michael Cole is such a beaten puppy and such a pussy that he has no idea how to do his job anymore. Like, he literally just repeats whatever is said, and he literally just fucking, like, oh, how can I promote something? I don't think he even pays attention to the match, and I just think that he put so much pressure on him that wasn't that good to begin with, but when he started improving, they put more pressure on him, and he's gone back down. I think Lawler literally just hangs out. I think he just shows up like, hey guys, I'm here, cool. And I think JBL is trying his damnedest, but the commentary team and the booking made something that could have been way better or worse. And I just feel bad for the athletes. I do not blame this on the athletes. Maybe I'm a softie when it comes to the athletes, but I believe creative really fucked them over, and the commentary team fucked them worse. Because they're obviously trying to tell a story, and no one understands what the fucking story is. So whose fault is that? Right, Rob?
Like, I definitely feel like you're spot on. Like, I feel like their time got fucked. Like, I'm pretty sure that they were told going into it when they were preparing and everything, hey, you guys are going to have, like, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. And they thought about it and, you know, all that, and going into the prep. And probably, like, day before, day of, they're like, listen, we decided we're going to do this other thing with Rowan and Ambrose. So we're going to have a lot of segments of them in the night, so we're going to have to cut down the size of your match to fit all that in and make the main event longer. And it's like, all right, okay, you guys suck. Because I enjoyed the match. Like, I thought it was an entertaining match. And both the women are very easy on the eyes, so that definitely doesn't hurt. But it could have been better. And like you guys both pointed out, the whole Paige being upset thing, that commentary dropped the ball. Commentary should have explained that to people so that it wasn't just like, all right, what is Paige going on about? I don't get it. Like, I want to get it, but I don't get it, and they should be the bridge that helps you fucking cross that gap to actually being in the fold, and they didn't, and fuck them.
Wow. You know what? We got to end that segment on that note right there. That's great. We'll go to the next segment here. We kicked off the second hour. This match was between Rusev and Jack Swagger. Now, first of all, before this match started, you know what? I'm going to give props to WWE for having some fucking balls. They addressed the situation, current events over in Ukraine, with the passenger plane being shot down, 295 people, being killed. They didn't specify it like that, but they addressed it. And, Lana, it's like, how, dare you blame us? It's like, look at your warmongering, look what you did in Afghanistan and Iraq, so who the hell are you to judge us? We've still got a great leader with Vladimir Putin. And they just kind of, brushed, past it, but kept going, kept their message strong. And out came, Swagger and Zeb Coulter in the match. And I was sitting there thinking, because I'm having flashbacks to 2005, when Muhammad Hassan was feuding with the Undertaker, and all, you had all those terrorist attacks going on, particularly the subway bombing in London. And I'm having flashbacks to that. I'm like, okay, this is probably going to be the beginning of the end for Rusev. I was worried about that, and I was worried that they were going to. I said maybe they're going to tone it down. No, WWE took it head on, and they just kept going. The show kept going. And so I'll applaud them for that. The match itself was, believe it or not, a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be maybe like a minute and a half. They were going to try to just kind of get him in there, get him out. Let's just kind of, gloss over this. No, they took it on head on, and they let the match go. The match was about a 10-minute match, roughly. There was a lot of spots in there where I thought Swagger was going to snap Rusev's ankle and get the win there. No, but Rusev really showed me a lot in the ring. Swagger showed me a lot. I think they had a great match. And in the ending, it kind of set it up to where nobody really looked bad. You had Rusev ram Swagger into the ring post face first. The referee, did a 10 count, so Rusev wins via count out. So Swagger doesn't look like he's bad because he didn't get knocked out, or he didn't tap out. Excuse me. He got counted out, and there was some underhandedness there with Rusev. And then Lana told him crush, and threw him back in the ring and locked him in the Accolade. So it lets me know that this feud's going to continue. So overall, I was impressed, and I will say that this was the sleeper match of the night. This was the match that I had virtually no expectations for, and it just like, wow, this is actually kind of good. So I'll give props to WWE for pulling that off. Dave, again, you're very, very in tune to world politics. Did you like how WWE addressed the current event situation in the world and carried on with the match and kept promoting Rusev's character, or do you think they should have taken a different route?
I thought them to be under the bus a lot, and I even in that going in, I was like, no, they're going to drop this storyline. WWE never does anything controversial. They never do anything good. And I was wrong. And when you bash WWE, you also have to give them props. And I thought this was the best book segment, and it had balls. Now, will they keep it up on Raw? I find that to be intriguing. After they just did this, I did not expect them to go. I did not expect them to, throw in what someone outside America would really think. I didn't think they were going to throw a real feud, so to speak. at them. I was very impressed by this, and I don't know if they'll keep going, but I thought for sure, you came before, even if it's that, I was like, dude, I think we're about this one. There's no way they're going to have the balls to do something as controversial. And they did. They did it. So I say congratulations. I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the details. This might have been the most impressed I was. I really was. And I can't believe it. I even like the little details of he throws it back in the ring, he kicks his hurt leg, and he's hurt playing. Not enough people do that anymore. Just like, here's my like Rumble Balls, Arrow, and all these shows, and especially books, is that they try so hard with the little things. And WWE's like, they have the attitude, oh, it's just wrestling, who gives a shit? But they looked at all the little details and did a great job. So, you know what? I have to give them props. I know I'm a player-hating motherfucker, but just congratulations. I enjoyed everything about this, and I have to give props to WWE and not being a bitch. Now, they might be a bitch and water them down later, but when the heat was on the network, they did the right thing. Because you got to remember, a lot of controversial stuff in the past, they have took down, even recently. So I just say congratulations to me on having a set of balls, and I loved everything about this match. I don't know if people agree with me, but I just thought they paid attention to every little detail, and I like that detail. Rob?
It felt really good for me going into that, and just seeing them do that and being like, feels good to be right about one thing this week. Feels good to be right about one thing. Dave may have been right about everything else, and Booms may have been right about everything else, but this one I was right on, and I stuck to my guns, and look at it turning out, and then I got hope for the main event, and that led back. But I liked that match a lot. I thought it was great. I thought the finish really set it up for a rematch to where neither guy definitively won. Like, no one really won that match. It was closer to a draw than anything else, and they set him up for what I think would be a really entertaining submission match too.
Yeah, there you go. I mean that's definitely an idea right there. A submission match. I kind of like that idea for promoting that. I kind of want to see Paige and AJ rematch each other in a submission match, but hey, I'll take either or. I'll take either or. But definitely a sleeper match of the night. Out next. Yeah.
One more thing. I'm trying to adjust my audio, so in the comments you can hear the audio. We'll get to your comments soon. Boom Boom is going to take the best comments. So I just want to check my audio. But one thing I want to say is that, like Rob and Booms were saying, no one looked weak leaving this match. And that's what you're supposed to do on creative. You're supposed to make great stories and make everyone look strong. That not many people do. All right, sorry, Booms. Just had to check my audio and get that out.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine here. We'll go to the next. Well, actually, it wasn't a match. It was where the Seth Rollins-Dean Ambrose match was supposed to be. You had Rollins come out, and then he said that Ambrose did it to himself, and so he demanded to be announced the winner via forfeit, and then have his hand raised, to which that was done. And on the way out, Ambrose jumped him, beat the crap out of him. In came WWE officials. They started breaking them up. Apparently, they were having a bad day, or Ambrose was covered in Vaseline or something, because he kept squirming out and kept going right back after Rollins. And Triple H eventually came out and got security to literally carry Ambrose out of the arena. This did not sit well with some members of the Internet Infantry. Wrestling Ranton says, this was it deflated the show with this blow-off, which, guys, Rob, I mean, do you agree with that? Do you feel like this really deflated the crowd by, teasing like this big match that everybody wants to see, and then on a pay-per-view, not a Raw, on a pay-per-view, not a SmackDown, but a pay-per-view, not a main event, pay-per-view, and then just not having it? I know on the tickets it says card subject to change, but still.
Yeah, I feel like that was a pretty big bait and switch. I get why they're doing it. They want the match to be bigger at SummerSlam, but there were other ways they could have done that. They could have done this a lot of ways. They could have had it not be a clean finish, had someone interfere, and then had Ambrose be like he wants him in a cage next time, and they could have had like a great Hell in the Cell match at SummerSlam, or something. Like, there are so many options better than the shit that they pulled. And then on top of it, when you have the announcer saying let them fight, and you have the crowd chanting let them fight, at that point Triple H should have made an executive decision and be like, you know what, if they want to keep going at each other, put them in the ring and just let them have their match.
They could have had that. I thought about this. Instead of like maybe a steel cage match, why not a strap match?
Oh, that'd be good too.
Where they're actually tied to each other. They're like, I could just see that Ambrose having so much fun. There's like, there's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. I will be connected to you at all times. There's no getting away. There's none of your buddies coming to help you. We're going to be tied together, and I promise you're going to leave a bloody pulp. I mean, I could just picture that one. That would be a great follow-up. Greg Bogan says he was super disappointed because there was no Ambrose and Rollins match. He says the build-up for SummerSlam, I guess Ambrose is my must-watch guy for the WWE right now. And he believes that this match is going to be amazing. And he says, as you'd say, Dave, I'd throw money at the screen for that to happen. Well, Dave, would you?
A little bit, but I think the whole feud is ruined. I think you went from, oh my god, I gotta watch this, here's my money, to go fuck yourself. If they did it in Japan, people would demand their money back and they would fucking leave. I don't know if people demanded their money back in Tampa, but I know people are like, oh, it's just entertainment. That's like a magician saying, I'm gonna pull a bunny out of my hat. He gets the fucking hat and he's like, go fuck yourself, fuck you, nobody, fucking suck a cock, I'm leaving. It just makes no sense. You can't be like, oh, it's just entertainment. That's like, okay, I'm going to take my kids to see the fucking Wiggles, and guess what? The fucking Wiggles don't play the fucking songs. No. Even if you're entertainment, you can't fucking false advertise. I don't fucking grasp that, because a lot of people are like, oh, people demanding their money back is fucking stupid. All right, take your kid to the fucking Wiggles. Wiggles don't show. Do you ask for your money back? Enough said. Problem solved. Problem staying solved. If they did this in Tokyo, everyone would demand their money back. And if you paid full price for this pay-per-view, you have every right to demand your money back. In Tampa, you demand. In Tampa, they're too fucking lazy. They're already fucking wrong. I don't even know if they were in the arena by this segment. But yeah, they could never do this in Tokyo. Tokyo would be like, TNA, learn your fucking lesson. Because you do something like this in Bound for Glory, you're gonna have everyone stand up and go to the ticket counter and say, "I want my money." It's crazy.
I think the worst part of it is you took this feud that was just, it was white hot. Like, up until tonight, it was pretty much looked at, they couldn't fuck that feud up. It was so fucking popular. And now I'm wondering if they just did, because the way they've set it up this whole month, and then especially tonight with the 3 different parts, they make Rollins look really fucking weak. Rollins looks like a little bitch right now. Rollins looks like a little bitch, and the Titty Master's coming for him, and he just doesn't know how to cope with it. And then, like, the whole thing was just frustrating. It definitely took all the momentum they had built up in the show just out of it, and the crowd died. Everyone died a little on the inside because they put the Titty Master in a bra, and they fucking locked him down.
Oh, sorry, Rob. I just got a quick question. Are we talking about the segment where they walked out into the parking lot, or are we getting to that segment later?
You know what? Let's go ahead and just talk about it, because that's just going to be part of it. Rollins is walking out. He's got 2, big security guys with him. He's like, no, guys, I don't need security, thank you. And then he does like, I hope nobody's here. I guess the only thing left to do is for me to finish the sentence uninterrupted. It's like something out of a horror movie, but Ambrose, of all people, okay, this is where it got a little goofy. He was hiding in Rollins' own trunk. How did he get in there? Better yet, how did he pop the trunk? Or did he not have the trunk closed up? It would have made sense, like, if you would have looked over to your left, there would have been an ambulance there. I think it would have made more sense if he would have popped out of that, because then, he could have found out, what Rollins' car was driving, or if he didn't know, he knew that he had to come through that parking lot, and you could easily argue that somebody left the ambulance, the back of the ambulance unlocked, so he just kind of, got in there and crouched down until Rollins, came out there and then he could spring out the back of the ambulance. But I think it was a little ridiculous. And plus, the whole thing that, Rollins just looks left, he looks right, it's like the fucking movie Finding Nemo. I forgot what the dad's name was in that movie. But, okay, you come out of the corner, you look left, you look right. Now you can look left again and look right again, but that's completely optional. He was doing that, and then he turns around and is still looking away from his car, and then Ambrose, whoop, hello, comes out. And I was like, okay, this is a little ridiculous, but they kind of redeemed themselves with a little bit of a fight. It looked a little bit more realistic. Then Rollins took off in his car, didn't shut the trunk, almost ran over his own luggage. So it was kind of like, mixture, but do you think that got ridiculous, or do you think they kind of played it just right?
Yeah, it got ridiculous.
Yeah, I just want to detail how ridiculous it was. First off, it was ridiculous way before this segment. This was beyond ridiculous. There's got to be a new word. Beyond embarrassing, beyond ridiculous. As a guy who, when I was skinnier and younger, used to work high-level security, it's an embarrassment to security. As a guy who pretends he's a writer and puts words on a fucking computer screen hoping that people will buy it one day, it's embarrassing as a writer. All right, first off, why would security stop following him? Like, oh, it's my job to get you to the car safely. Oh, you got it? Okay, fuck it, I'm going to leave. Worst security in the world. And then we've had in the past. Just ask CM Punk. Second is, how does the story make any sense? First off, okay, if you're going to say, oh, fuck you, I don't need security, go away, I got this, why be scared instantly? Instantly! Like, if you're like, oh, I fucking got this, and you're like, and then you get attacked, you're like, okay, that's bad storytelling. But this is beyond bad storytelling. You're like, guys, I got this shit. Oh my fucking god. Like, why didn't he just keep security? There's so much fucking bad shit about this segment. This might be one of the worst segments I've ever seen on a fucking pay-per-view in a real long time. And it's straight up, the feud was killed before. I don't even want to fucking see it anymore. I don't know if I want to see the fucking wrestlers ever again. It's like, dude, if they just disappear, like if they fucking drove the car off a cliff and fucking it's just so bad. It was horrible. I don't understand how there's, how many people created? Maybe 10, 20? Let's give it an average, let's give it a Joe Montana number. Let's say there's 16 people in the room. Wrestlers, agents, all that. No one fucking says this is a bad idea. You need new fucking people. You need new fucking people. I'm telling you this. I used to teach screenwriting to high school kids that English wasn't their first fucking language. And they were writing screenplays in English. I would have fucking failed them. I would have failed them. You are a professional goddamn writer, and that's what you do? That's what you do? You can't even pass second languages English fucking classes. Get the fuck out of here. This ain't even passing. What? Go ask your English teacher. Go ask, if you are and taking a writing course in South Florida, if you're going to a writing school, if you have an English teacher, have access to them, tell them the story, and ask them what grade that story would get. And if it's anything besides, well, if they're retarded, I'd give them a D-. Your English teacher's full of shit. Dude, worst. I just can't believe it. It was ridiculous before, but they just took it to a whole new fucking level. I just had to.
You would say you're excited to see more of this feud on Monday?
No, not at all. I don't even know if I'm on wrestling.
Oh they'll have something. Yeah, they're gonna have something on Monday. But speaking of I guess shockers, to me this was the most shocking segment of the night. Was the Chris Jericho versus Bray Wyatt match. To me, I was kind of left scratching my head, and then Javier almost says it best. He says, "So should we wait for a big Bray Wyatt win at SummerSlam over Jericho? Is he finally going to get that win? I really don't know, Javier. I thought he was going to get the win tonight to get his legs back up under him, but I have no idea." And then in fact, actually, I'll tell you what. I'll throw this to you, Rob. Fran Yelly says, guys, is there a logic to having Chris Jericho go over Bray Wyatt? I just may not be seeing it. Rob, I mean, what do you think? I mean, we saw this match. It was actually not that bad, but I was just kind of puzzled at the ending. I mean, do you see any logic behind it?
I think it was stupid, but I see why they did it. I think they're stupid for it, but I guarantee you it was the mentality, oh, this is just a setup pay-per-view for SummerSlam. Everything big needs to happen at SummerSlam, because it's obvious throughout the entire night. Every single match, with the exception of basically one, acted as a setup for SummerSlam. All of them were just setups for SummerSlam. The Rusev fucking swagger thing, clearly just a setup for a rematch. Paige AJ, probably going to be a setup for a rematch. Hell, they're probably going to do the Usos and the Wyatts again. Let's be realistic. Unless Goldust and Stardust save us from that. But I wouldn't be upset if they did. And then this match, like, yeah, like, all of it just screamed, we're being lazy because this is just a filler for SummerSlam. Like, the whole fucking night did. Like, I mean, they even released, like, the Cena poster releasings constantly everywhere probably sold that more than anything else, that this is just a filler pay-per-view.
All right. Now, Dave, I've actually got there's actually a question for you from Fran Yelly. He says, would you be able to look at Bray Wyatt the way you used to look at him before Cena?
Maybe in a couple years. I don't think he's ever going to be the same again. And as far as the Jericho situation goes, I talked about this a little bit in a preview show. I think everyone in the world knew that Bray Wyatt needs to win, so that's why they let Jericho win, and he'll just get his revenge at SummerSlam. Because if he doesn't get his revenge at SummerSlam, he might as well just go home.
Yeah.
And I'm going to change the title of this show, because I didn't know what to call it, because I set up the show before it went off the air, but I think, Rob, I'm going to paraphrase your line for the subtitle of this show. WWE Battleground Review, 7/2014. This was SummerSlam's pre-show.
It really is.
It absolutely was. Mr. The King says, I really feel like Bray Wyatt was robbed of his push. I feel like Reigns' position is supposed to be Bray Wyatt. I guess I can understand why they gave Jericho the win, because he's supposed to be this huge returning multimedia platinum super duper star and wannabe 80s hair band. I can understand why you'd want to give him a win to make him feel a little bit bigger, because you just can't have him come back cold and then just, lose. But I think that Bray Wyatt can't afford to take too many more of these losses. I mean, he absolutely came out. I mean, he built up with the feud with Daniel Bryan. He got absolutely murdered. His character was murdered in that feud with John Cena, and so it was really his first feud out of that. He needs to build back up. I don't think this loss did him any favors. I mean, it's going to be to a point where if he keeps losing these big matches, he just looks impotent, because there he is. He's bullying people on Monday Night Raw, spouting all his nonsense, but when push comes to shove and it's time to, fucking put up or shut up, he always loses. And I think
whenever he's denied his lackeys, he loses. That's been it every time. Every time he gets denied Rowan and Harper, he loses, which has had the end effect of, and I mentioned this in the chat during the pay-per-view, Rowan and Harper are massively over compared to Wyatt right now. I'm tired of Wyatt. I don't want to see Wyatt anymore. I really don't. And I know people will be upset, like people won't agree with me over that. But I'm sorry. It's just, you have to keep in mind, I started watching again at WrestleMania, and since I've been watching, I haven't seen any of the great that you guys talk about for Wyatt. All I've seen is him basically cut decent promos and then job out to Cena and now Jericho.
I want to add to that comment. I wonder if Bray Wyatt can wrestle. Husky Harris could wrestle. Everyone's like, oh, Husky Harris, get it? Yeah, Husky Harris could put on fucking matches. Bray Wyatt, the character, the next Undertaker, I haven't seen shit from. And just for those not in the know, they're the same guy. But when he was Husky Harris, he was put on great matches. Then everyone laughed at Husky Harris, and here comes Bray Wyatt. He's amazing. He's a god. Where's his great matches? And I just think I want to just re-say this. I just think Y2J won because it was just way too predictable. But Bray win. I just thought that's the case. All right, any more comments, Booms?
Not regarding this match. Next here is the 20-man over-the-top battle royal for the vacant Intercontinental title. Of course, Wade Barrett went out there and said he had some bad news for whoever won it. He's going to have to face him as soon as he gets better. I thought they were going to start the pay-per-view off with this match. I actually thought it was pretty good. I was thinking, okay, this is going to be like an 8-minute suck fest. They're going to do like elimination like every minute till they come down to like the last 4 people. We'll try to sell some drama, and then ultimately, they'll have a winner and they'll just move on. No, this went on for quite a while. This went almost 15 minutes, and I was like, when you think about it, that's about half the time of the Royal Rumble. When you really break it down, 30 men, 30 minutes, 20 men, about 15 minutes. That's not bad for especially something that's not the Royal Rumble. A lot of good spots in there. Let's see. Of all the people, let's see here. Heath Slater kind of impressed me. Bo Dallas kind of impressed me in this match. Got to mention Dolph Ziggler. Sheamus had a good showing. The ending, even though I predicted it, I just didn't predict it would just be this goofy. For those of you who may have missed it, by the way, Kofi Kingston and Cesaro, we'll look for that feud to continue. They had a great spot where Kofi avoided elimination, went back in, then got eliminated. But it's worth checking out. But the ending was just really, really goofy. It came down to Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler, or so we thought. Ziggler got eliminated. Sheamus, and I was like, oh, wow, maybe the Internet title did bring in some luck. But then Miz came in. Apparently he'd gone out, but not over the top rope. And then came back in and tossed Ziggler over the top and won the Intercontinental title. And I wanted to steal a line from the Miz and go like, really? 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 This is what we're going to do. I understand it's the cowardly heel thing, and I understand that, this is entertainment. This is it's a smart move that a bad guy would have done. But there was 5 fucking referees out there? Why did not any of those referees, not be like, okay, I understand you're not eliminated. You went under the ropes, not over, but you have to get back in there. I'm just wondering why didn't that happen? I mean, this wasn't done by somebody's stupidity that Ziggler thought he eliminated him, but he really didn't. Shawn Michaels back in '95, but just to me, it just was. It was just kind of hokey. So, but guys, aside from the ending, what did you think about the Battle Royal?
Rob, you can go first.
Okay. I wasn't into it at all for about, I don't know, I'd say the first 5 minutes. I was like, oh, god damn it, I gotta sit through another Battle Royal. Because since I started watching again, holy fuck it, they've been on a Battle Royal kick. I've seen at least one Battle Royal month since I've been back. Calm the fuck down. I don't need to see this many fuck Battle Royals. But that aside, I wasn't into it up until after Kofi. Basically, as soon as Kofi and Cesaro started tying up was when I started enjoying it, because they were just great the whole match. We got 3 different good spots out of, we got one shitty spot out of Kofi, and everyone's like, oh fuck, is that really going to be our Kofi spot? That'd be par for the course for this pay-per-view. And then we got a pretty good spot with him basically playing what was that pool game you would play where you'd get the hot girl on your shoulders?
Yeah, it's chicken. I remember playing that.
He played chicken with Big E, and he was Big E's hot girl. And then he went back in, and we had some pretty good spots from Kofi and Cesaro. And I'm looking forward to a Kofi Cesaro feud because they did some pretty entertaining stuff, and I liked it a lot. And then when it got down to the 3, I was like, oh god damn it, Ziggler's gonna win. people are going to think Ziggler's the champ, and everyone's going to get excited, and then they're going to come out and be like, ah, we got you, dumb fucks, and Miz is going to throw him over while he's celebrating. And then they did it, and I was like, God damn it. Why? I fucking hate you, Miz. I hate you so much, Miz. Don't get me wrong. Ziggler would have lost this title on Monday, but I hate you, Miz.
Yeah. The Nerd Man 2 says, I don't care for Miz's latest gimmick, but personally, Miz deserves a push after how much he's been doing for the WWE after Cena buried him. You remember he was quite entertaining before then, especially the stuff he did with John Morrison. But hey, I can understand why people are pissed he's champ. The boy really can't wrestle. Wow. Dave, do you agree with that assessment?
Oh, I got mixed feelings. I like heel Miz, and I think he's the most improved wrestler of all time. Does that make him good? He was really bad when he first started. I don't think he can wrestle. Like, he's not one top-tier guy, but I think he can hold his own. But I think from where he started, who's the redheaded mop that you guys talk about so much on Total Divas?
Eva Marie.
Eva Marie.
That's hell.
Eva Marie is better at pro wrestling now than when The Miz first started. That's how much.
That's pretty bad.
And not that, but he has one of the greatest promo packages ever, and that was pro wrestling. I can't hold that enough. One of my favorite promo packages ever. This show had a great promo package. It's really on. Alright, so Jericho, that was a great package. I have bad news. Of course, everyone was making this joke in the chat room, so I'll just reset it. That Barrett was going to come out and just say, I'm just fucking with you. I'm okay, guys. I'm still chilling. Like, that was the joke going on in our chat room. I thought it was a really bad, slow start. Kofi, of course, was amazing. And I enjoyed it. I watched the finals. The only thing that pissed me off about it is this spot. It's interesting and it's good. I just think they abused it way too much. Like, I think everyone knew Miz went on to the world. I think everyone knew Miz was going to do it. But, Davis, Ziggler is all left looking stronger because of this match, and, a couple other guys. They did a lot of good things to help it build. But the problem is, this is a great finish. They use it sparingly, and I think they go to it way too much. That's just my honest opinion.
All right. Let's see here. I mean, any more thoughts on this? I mean, are you happy with the new Intercontinental Champion, or do we just need to move on to the main event here?
I'm happy. I've said my piece. I'm okay with it. Rob?
Yeah, I'm the same.
All right. Now, of course, you got the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. The champion John Cena took on Roman Reigns, Kane, and Randy Orton in a fatal four-way match. Well, not really shocked by this. I can't really say that I hated it. I thought it was pretty good in the sense that Reigns, I think, really shined in this. I think that was the point. Everybody got their shit in. I knew Roman Reigns wasn't going to win, but I mean, what? I'm having a hard time expressing myself at this match because it's like I've seen this match like 100 different times. The only thing that made it different this time was they put 4 people or 3 other people in the ring with John Cena instead of just one. And Dave, maybe you're right. Maybe another 10 years, another 15 title reigns. Maybe this Cena kid will finally get over.
Yeah, I got nothing to say. Like, it's worn down. Like, I don't even really pay attention. This could have been a 5-star match. I don't know.
What? You didn't pay attention to it?
Dude, I don't pay attention to any Cena match, dude.
It was a good match.
Hey, listen. Bam Boom's been doing this shit for 27 fucking years. John Cena wins, we fucking get it. You're a little more motivated. Matter of fact, Bam Booms are fucking blown up. We're just tired of this shit. You're the positive guy. We're hot tagging you, fucking sexy pants. Why don't you fucking tell the fucking fans, like, wow, it was fucking interesting. I didn't fucking know it was gonna fucking win. You fucking do that.
It was. I enjoyed the match a lot. And I think it was a great way to show all the people who have been sitting there saying, oh, well, Reigns is going to be the next Golden Boy, and he's just like Cena. Reigns did more work in that match than all three of the other guys combined. That dude was constantly moving and constantly running around and doing shit. He was the most active participant in the match, and he came out of that match, even though he lost, looking amazing going into SummerSlam, which I think was the important thing to focus on in that match, since we all kind of... They basically told us Cena was going to win, and I didn't want to believe it, but they basically told us he was going to win. And it had some decent spots, like when they did the Kane and Orton were on the turnbuckle, and then Cena and Reigns came over, and just all four men came off that. That was...
don't forget the one where Reigns did like that drop kick from the floor up to the guys up on the apron, did that to all three of them, and then speared the hell out of Orton through the timekeeper's barricade. That was the fucking spot of the night.
That was great. That was great. And like they had a pretty good match, I think.
I mean, it was just... I mean, they teased a lot of things. They teased the dissension between Kane and Orton. I guess, try to spice this up and make it interesting. Do you think there's going to be some, kind of consequences for Kane and Orton tomorrow night on Raw, because they failed to get the job done? They, particularly Kane, because I'm thinking if anybody's going to get thrown out of the Authority, it's going to be Kane, because every time it comes down to it, yeah, he's a monster, but he can't get the job done. And, the Authority could take the heel tank and be like, you know what, if it wasn't been for you, pissing off Randy and hitting him, and, he would have walked out champion, I mean, do you think there's going to be some kind of retribution for Kane for basically failing to get Orton's back and secure the Authority the championship?
I think definitely. I'm actually really excited for Raw tomorrow night at the end of this pay-per-view. Like, I'm excited to see what they do with a couple of different things, like that and the Ambrose Rollins feud, all that shit. I think it was actually Randy's fault, like, with the way they did the story. It's very clearly Kane was still part of the team up until Randy was an asshole. But, yeah, they'll definitely go, oh, fuck you, Kane. You fucked it up again, you big red retard. You're out of the Authority. We're done with you.
All right. Well, overall, guys, we need to start wrapping this up here. Overall, let's just say, what do you rate this pay-per-view? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, what do you guys rate it? Dave, let's start with you. What do you give it on a scale of 1 to 10?
If you watched it for free, maybe if you were there live, maybe if you have the network, maybe a 5. If you paid full price, negative 76. Not $40 to fucking $50 for that. So I guess it just depends. I just think it's completely average. And for a fan that doesn't have, I'm not knocking Rob, but I am kind of knocking Rob, but I'm doing it like nicely. For a fan that maybe took a break from watching wrestling and you're like, it's average. All right, well, this is what pro wrestling is. I could see someone like Rob or someone that's a part-time fan or not a part-time fan, but took a break and didn't fucking throw it on and on and on. I can be like, oh, well, it's average, yay! But for a guy that's been watching every goddamn show for this long, it wears me, dude. It wears me. I'm going to say completely average, tie. Way to go, WWE, kissed your sister. I was just very, I don't know, like, it's got to the point that, Rob, explain what I'm trying to say.
He's very upset and jaded. So I'll actually agree with him. I'm going to give it a 5.5 to it. No, I'll round it up. I'll give it a 6. It gets a 6 for me. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was terrible. But I also went into it knowing, hey, this is Battlegrounds. It's in Tampa, and it's basically a pre-show for SummerSlam, which definitely lowered my expectations. Plus, for $10 a month, the WWE Network is an amazing deal. And, I don't even care about the pay-per-view that I get in the month. I watch it so much.
All right. Me, guys, I'm going to, you know what? I'll go with that. I'll give it a 6. I don't think it was god-awful. I don't think it was great either. I think this would have been an absolutely fantastic Raw, but it just didn't feel like a pay-per-view. And it's just like, I agree, this felt like, hey, this was the entire pre-show to SummerSlam. We promise you it's going to be really, really awesome, so let's just get through this pay-per-view. So with that, you know what? Let's take a few questions here from the Internet Infantry, and then we'll call it a night. I've got to go to work tomorrow. Rob, I'm pretty sure he's got to go to work tomorrow. Dave has got to do something. So we'll take some questions here. Let's see here. First one up. Netta Jones. She says, the main event could have been better, but I enjoyed it for what it was worth. But I have a question. Why do people hate Cena so much? I just got back into wrestling these past few years after not watching for almost 20 years, so I don't understand why so many fans hate Cena.
I know, right? He's not that bad. He's great on Total Divas.
I am going to make a 40-minute video with my answer. We get this way too much. We got to put in FAQs. There's no way we can answer it in one fucking sentence. Yeah, no. I might make a 6-hour video. I'll make a 6-hour video. Matter of fact, we're gonna have a goddamn marathon. I'm gonna hook up a little video game system. You can watch me play Bomberman. I'm not very good, and we'll talk 24 straight hours. Let's give the most cliff note answer of my 24-hour rants. The character is horrible. He hurts a lot of pro wrestlers, like as far as storylines go, and I have the belief of the best wrestler who connects with the crowd should get rewarded. John Cena is not that.
I disagree on one of those points. I don't think the character is horrible. His portrayal of the character is horrible. Because Bo Dallas has the exact same character, and it's amazing. But Bo Dallas probably isn't going to do that character for 15 years.
Yeah, he's not going to do that character for 15 years, and it's like the Stephen Colbert thing. If it wasn't for mainstream media, Stephen Colbert wouldn't be funny. If it wasn't for John Cena, I hate to say this, Bo Dallas would be nowhere near as funny. The reason why I love Bo Dallas more than an average man should is because I had to put up with, that's the reason why people like Colbert. It's the reason why people like fucking all those comedians. The reason why is because the fucking mainstream media is a joke. John Cena is a fucking joke. That's why Bo Dallas is fucking way more hilarious than he really is. Yeah, I'll make a longer video, but yeah, it's just fucking horrible. It's the same thing. You know what cracks me up about these people? And granted, she's a new fan, and that's the whole big question: new fan. If there was a brand new Halloween or Friday the 13th, and it was Friday the 13th 19, horror fans would be like, "Oh, that's great." Not all horror fans, a small percentage. But the reality is, the average person that likes movies would be like, oh, Jesus Christ, we need 19 of these things? Yet, John Cena is that. John Cena is the sequel movie that keeps happening that no one fucking wanted. He's Matrix fucking 3. I got nothing to say that wouldn't go on to a long rant. It's just, that's it. That's it. He's not deserving of it, period. End of story. Booms, you want to add that? Because that could be.
You know, Nana. I mean, first of all, welcome to the infantry. Cena. I mean, to sum it up, it's the same thing. It's been the same thing for the past 10 years. Nothing has changed, and it's that we feel that John Cena is hogging the spotlight. That basically anything he touches turns to just crap. Just look at the recent feuds he had with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt was red hot. He gets involved with this feud, and now Bray Wyatt, as we're saying, he's trying to put his career back together. It's just been the same shtick. He shows no human qualities. It's always the same storyline. He always gets hurt and has to overcome, or somebody challenges. He's got a different angle that he's going to take on, John Cena with, and John Cena has to rise to the occasion, and it's just he's untouchable, invincible, and has a very, very limited move set. He's, if you've ever heard the joke about the 5 moves of doom, that's what they're talking about. He hits the same 5 moves in every match. It's like a routine, and people are just tired of it because there's no diversity with the character. And I think that's what it boils down to. And he keeps people below him down where nobody else can achieve his level, and that's why the whole roster is thin and weak, is because he keeps people down, and there's nobody else to rise up to that. They won't let anybody else rise up to that level.
He's not even a character or a pro wrestler. He's literally a marketing tool. I don't see a difference between John Cena and a flyer. None whatsoever. He's a fucking marketing tool. That's all he is. He's not a pro wrestler. He's not a character. He's a fucking marketing tool. Right now in Hollywood, I only know this because I saw it on my Facebook wall, that the guy that they're showing, I think, what's this stupid thing? Oh, I love the government. If it wasn't for the government, the world would be scary. Horror movie that's out. The Purge, right? Yeah, The Purge just did a poster, and it's all over the place. And that was a background character who didn't get paid for that shit. Well, he's like, dude, I should get paid something. That character, the background character, Purge on the poster, it doesn't get paid, so why should John Cena get paid? Life's not fair. He's just a fucking marketing tool. That's what he is. Yay! Flyer! Go, Flyer, go! Like I said, that's a great question. He answered shortly.
Okay, good one there. But you know what? Okay, here's the last question. We need to wrap it up. It goes up. It's from Travis Moore. He says, guys, if you were GM for WWE, what would you do to make it good? You know what, Rob? Let's go ahead and start with you.
Fuck, I go over all this shit in my theories all the time. One thing I would do is the Kane theory, which I mentioned before, which is have a young guy, like grab that one dude, that one 7 foot tall, goofy, greasy, oily looking fuck from NXT. What's his goddamn name? He's part of
Nash.
No, not Kevin Nash. His quads can't handle it.
I think you're talking about Big Cass.
Yeah, so you grab him. He's about the size and build of old Kane. You bring back him as old Kane, have him feud with new Kane, and basically kill off new Kane. Goodbye, new Kane. I don't want to see you anymore. And then you have him be that monster again. Back when Kane was good. Just have him be the monster again. Then you have the goddamn Rollins feud. Don't fucking cock tease us anymore. Just have the Rollins feud be good. God damn it. Stop making Reigns and Ambrose ignore each other. These guys were best friends for like a year and a half, and now you expect me to believe that they suddenly like see their buddy getting beat up out in the ring and getting thrown on stairs and shit like that. And they're not at all like, you know, we both hate that guy that's beating him up. Maybe I should go out there and do something about it. And then I would fire. Actually, no, I wouldn't fire John Cena. I would make John Cena the GM of SmackDown, and then I would probably bring back Stone Cold as the GM of Raw, and it would be amazing. Or, no, fuck that. I would bring back Bryan Daniels as the GM of Raw, and that would be amazing.
All right. I guess general manager, like a character, like if you're talking about general manager character, you just do whatever the fuck you're told because that's how a job works. But if you're talking about like really having power, like Rob was describing, I would give John Cena a long vacation, let him do his movies, let him be a star. I'd have him come back and with his 15 title runs, and then have him come back with Ric Flair and say he's going for 16 or going to retire. And then at WrestleMania, I would have him do just one last fucking match. And then, of course, you have to kind of give him a good severance package. So I would just put him in tons of movies and have him do, like, general manager shit, be a star. I would basically make him do whatever he does now except wrestle. And that's how I would end that. Randy Orton, I'd probably just put on the back burner, and I would just have him pass the torch. Because the thing with TNA has the same problem. They're holding on to an old generation. They're holding on to these old wrestlers going, please let ratings go up. And the ratings keep going down. If the ratings keep going down and you're losing fucking money, why not lose money with the fucking new guys that you built? You did it before. You did it with HBK, Bret Hart era. Why can't you do it again? So I would figure out respectful ways to end the older guys. I'd just be like, all right, well, thanks for coming. You know, because you're working at WWE's universe. You can't be like, fuck you, John Cena, I fired you, even though that'd be great. You have to kind of work within. You're in charge, but you're still fucking inside the WWE universe. So that's it. You know, and I would help get new guys over and start pushing it, which I hope Triple H does in the future. But That's what I would do. I wouldn't go. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, you got to go rated R, attitude error. I just think there's too much money in anyone pitching that idea. I just think there's too much money in being like, oh, we're gonna do this. I think that's a last second thing. I would just have it where it's simple storylines and the best wrestlers, crowd, heel, or face get pushed. That's how I would do it. And that's how I'd have it done. And I would market everyone the same. Like if John Cena gets piped in crowd noise, everyone gets piped in crowd noise. Because UFC is so much better at promoting WWE. UFC and ECW had something in common. The brand is more important than it's gone. WWE is stuck with, well, it's got to be Bruno, it's got to be Hogan, it's got to be John Cena. We have to have that number one guy. No, they don't. You can fucking have a great show and have it stacked. That's why the Attitude Era was so great. The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, all those guys turns at being at the top and had no problem putting each other over. You don't have that now. And of course you can be like, well, that's creative. I don't give a fuck whose fault it is. You don't have that now. So that's what I would do. I'd just rebuild it like that. And you're already losing money. You might as well fucking do it now. So that's what I'm saying. I would give every old guy that's not good a proper send-off and just be done with it. I wouldn't be disrespectful. I'd just be like, thank you for what you've done. I'd be, in the back of my head, I'd be like, this is what I'd be like, thank you for what you've done, ruining goddamn pro wrestling, having the worst generation ever. I hope this send-off is good enough for you.
All right, well, good one here. And I guess I can cap it off here with, if I was the general manager or the GM of Raw, I guess what I would do is I would basically make all titles matter. And there's going to be wins and losses, which determines number one contenders. And you basically use crowd response to kind of determine, who gets, what. But basically, it's an even playing field. Again, I would have no nonsense referees, basically guys who weren't made of like paper mache going in there officiating the matches, people who actually enforce the rules, people who would stop matches, like a referee stoppage in the UFC. And like if a guy is getting pummeled in UFC, the referee jumps in. I'd like to see something like that. I would like to see it where bad guy, people are punished, for rule breaking. All works in kayfabe, but most of the, like I said, the biggest thing I would enforce would be the win-loss record. Make it seem like it absolutely means something for every title. Everybody, if you lose, your title shot, you got to start back over again. Have like a rule in there that if you can beat a champion or make them submit, then you automatically become the number one contender for that title. Just really basic stuff like that is what I would do to try to improve it, and maybe build up some stars. Maybe try to call up some guys from NXT or find guys who are just absolutely positively not getting over, and just either demote them back down to NXT for more training, or just let them go altogether. But that's what I would do with them.
That idea actually, the idea of doing rankings that actually mean something, even if it's all kayfabe, that's actually a good idea if you have it reset at WrestleMania, because their slow period normally is the period right after WrestleMania, and if you do it that way, and the rankings all reset right after WrestleMania, it makes all those opening matches a lot more important for those first few months, because that's basically settling the pecking order going into the rest of the year.
Yeah, and just more back to sport. Just get more back to sport. You can have entertaining stuff, but don't have entertaining stuff for the sake of entertaining. If it's not entertaining, just skip it. But sometimes I feel like WWE is like, we have to come up with entertainment. Like you'll see those backstage segments where they really just wanted to have entertainment for the sake of entertainment. It wasn't good. Like I would have Bo Dallas and Santino. That's it. There's your comedy. You're done. You're fucking done with the rest of the comedy. So yeah, just get back to more sport. And less non-title matches.
And split up the goddamn Divas division, so it's actually, the Divas division, which will be the actual, female wrestlers, and then the Valet division. Because let's be honest, half your Divas division should just be valets.
And of course, bringing in tons of new talent. All right. If you have any other questions, just leave them in the comments, and if there's enough of them, I'll do a Stump the Idiot later. All right, Booms. You show us why you're the best paid.
Let me do that thing that I do so well. I'll do that thing that I do so well, and I'll tell everybody to check us out at Kocosports.com. That's KOCOsports.com. It's your home for all combat sports. That includes mixed martial arts, boxing, pro wrestling, amateur wrestling, sumo wrestling. Hell, we've even got some jiu-jitsu. We've got taekwondo, kickboxing. You can get your nose broke doing it. We got you covered there at that site 24/7. So check it out. Got a lot of news and gossip, including, and we've also got our video on demand section, so check it out. It's where the world goes to kick ass. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow night, same bat time, same bat channel, with our Raw review. Hopefully Rob will be able to join us for that. But guys, it's been great. Any parting thoughts here before we say goodnight?
Rob, the stage is yours. Go.
Make sure you check out turkeymania.com. We're hoping that we can put up tickets for the first John Cena versus David Kocosports match, which we're hoping to get out probably somewhere around 2026 after he's finished his 30 championship run.
You're putting over that as much as WWE puts over John Cena. All right.
Well, he is part of it.
Go check out Kocosports.com. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll try to be, if there's enough good questions, I'll try to do a Stump the Idiot. We try to do at least 1 or 2 shows a week. And also, Jerry and David Cooey and Pablo are really working hard on the blog, so go to Kocosports.com. Hopefully, one day we keep improving that you will be your #1 stop for pro wrestling reviews and combat sports news. So we'll keep working on it. So hopefully one day we'll be your #1 stop. All right, Rob, thank you. Booms.
Thank
you. And you got something to say, Rob?
Yeah, I think you need to upgrade your outro. You've been saying it so long, and you still do it the same way, which is, we try and put 1 to 2 shows out a week. I think we've surpassed the 1 to 2. I think we are definitely into we try to put out, like 7, 8 shows a week. You're gonna have to upgrade that. You're gonna have to get with the times, Grandpa.
All right. Well, I feel like at the very end, I turn into an athlete on ESPN. Like, 1 game at a time, working hard. Thanks, it's all good in the bad. I feel like I turn into like an athlete, like a ESPN. All right, so it's 1 game at a time. Go check out our blog, Kocosports.com or Kocosports.net. It takes you to the same place. And with that, I am over.